Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Subhaan here. I wanted to share a couple pieces of advice that I really feel is pertinent in today's time, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost because I know that I'm talking to myself, like literally first and foremost, because this is advice that I use to fuel myself, and this is advice that I use to talk to myself and internalize whatever situations that I'm going through. So if this is of any benefit to you, I simply ask you to like the video and share the video so it could also help others, inshallah, God willing. So a lot of times in life we tend to deal with hardships, or we tend to deal with certain instances in our life that are really hard for us to handle, or it might really impact the heart, and we might become depressed with these type of instances, and we might dwell on them so much, and it might really just ruin the flow of our daily life, and we're just sidetracked, and we're disturbed, and so on and so forth. It's affecting our school work, it's affecting our studies, it's affecting work, it's affecting life at home, it's affecting everything, right? And you just can't stop thinking about it, and whenever you do think about it, it's just leading to depression, and it's just leading to a state of not peace, right? So I have some advice for those who might be going through some hardships or some trials, inshallah. So three pieces of advice, inshallah, and that's it. The first advice that I have is very important, and this is a quote that I'm sure a lot of us have heard, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, He will not give you a test that you can't handle. And this is a very, very piece of practical advice, because I want you guys to think of a trial that you've had in the past, and we've all had trials. That's what life is all about. Life is going to give you trials, it's going to give you tribulations, but it's about overcoming them, right? So try to think about some of the trials that you might have had in the past, and try to think about how you overcame them, and you did overcome them, right? And inshallah, try to use that as a gauge to realize, you know what, man, I've gone through things in life, but I'm thinking about them right now, but I've gotten past it, and I've seen the light at the other side of the tunnel, right? And there's so many people in the past who have gone through so many things, and I know that they've gotten past it, and I know I've gotten past it, because I know for sure that God won't give me a test that I can't handle, because God loves me. So think of that mindset and use that mindset moving forward. Very simple, short piece of advice, that God will not give you something that you can't handle, and just realize and internalize, man, I'm going through a lot of tough I'm going through some tough times right now, but I know that God is not going to give me something that I can't handle, which means I know I can handle this, which means I'm actually pretty strong, right? I'm actually pretty strong. Advice number 2 is be in a constant state of gratitude. Always be grateful. Always, always, always be grateful. And this is so practical, because in life, when you actually realize and take a step back and look at all the blessings that you have and compare it to all the hardships and trials that you're going through, when you lift the two on a scale, your blessings are going to outweigh all the hardships and tribulations that you're going through. Why? Because when you realize that I have water, when you realize that I have a shelter, when you realize that I have money to go out and eat food when I want to go out to eat food, and I have money to do all the basic necessities that I want to do in life, and then you internalize that, and you internalize what a lot of people on the other side of the world, or a lot of the people who don't even have any of these luxuries that we have, you're going to realize that all these tribulations that you're going through, it means nothing, because at least we have the basic fundamentals of life, the basic necessities of life. So when you constantly remind yourself of all the blessings that you have been bestowed on by God, I swear you'll start to, that pain that's in the heart, it'll start to go away, because you realize that you have so much. You realize that you have so much, and such a blessing of how much we have. So when you start to internalize the state of being grateful, then I promise you that the pain or the trials and the tribulations that you might be going through will slowly go away. And I know it's not easy, but just try to really implement these pieces of advice, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, and you'll start to notice change immediately, inshallah. But most definitely over time, the change will definitely start to come. And the final advice that I have is, it's kind of incorporating both of these two things, right? Number 1, we talked about how we know that God will never give you a test and trial that you can't handle. And number 2 is being grateful for everything that you have. Number 3 literally goes down to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. right? We're talking about the greatest man to ever step foot on this earth, right? And look at all the various trials and tribulations that he had in his life. And whatever we're going through, it's not comparing, because the Rasul was a wanted man. He wanted to be killed by a lot of people. He was physically abused. He was emotionally abused. And at that same time, with all the pain that he received from all these people, he was still the best husband that there could have been. He was still the best, the best father, right? He was the best man. So with all the things that were going on in his life, all the tests, the trials, the tribulations, the responsibility that was given to him, he still was able to be the best person that he can be, and he was still able to, just get that state of contentment, which is not easy. But God does not give somebody a test that he can't handle. And the Rasul was able to handle this test. There might have been some bumps in the road, but he was able to handle this at such a magnitude level that I'm here been making this video, right? And obviously, I'm sure we all know the beautiful words from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in which He said, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Verily, with hardship comes ease." This is definitely something that all of us can inculcate in our life. Why? Because it's not after the hardship comes ease, it's with. And if we simply look at our blessings and realize that this is a test that we are going to overcome, we're going to start to realize all the beautiful blessings that we have in our life, which will obviously inculcate the ayah, "With hardship comes ease." It's going to be with it, and you will immediately find happiness if you look for it. But if you dwell on the sadness and if you dwell on the trials and the tribulations, then it's not gonna go well. So have that positive state of mind. Look at the blessings. Understand that this is a test and you're gonna overcome it, just as the greatest person to walk and step foot on this earth, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, did. And inshallah, everything will go into a state of tranquility, and inshallah you guys will all, including myself, hopefully inshallah, will have that state of fulfillment and contentment. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us all the highest of paradise and allow us to achieve all our goals and aspirations. Thank you for watching this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.